Hi everyone and welcome to the Crows Show, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. I'm Mark Bickley.
And I'm Alana Smith. Already we're 5 games into the season with a big home match against Freo next Saturday.
Coming up in today's show,
the little bit of magic that heralded a champion.
It goes on, up and goes!
And we catch up with the player who can challenge Don Pyke's status as the club's best golfer.
You can play golf till you're 60 or 70, so I think after footy that's something I'd look into.
But first, the biggest rule change in the off-season is the new lower cap on interchange rotations. It's having a significant impact on players and coaches alike, placing even greater demands on fitness and flexibility. So why did the AFL reduce the number of rotations to 90? And how have the Crows adapted to the change?
And it's something for the sides, really, they've got to get used to it. It's a significant drop from 120 down to 90 rotations.
Now we've lost 30 rotations from last year, so I think it's everyone's still in a bit of a feeling out period with it and starting to work out how to utilise it best.
The reality is if you come off the bench and you're still exhausted, or you get to the bench and you get pushed back because you can't go off, you're exhausted, you don't go forward to the ball, you have to go behind the ball.
We know midfielders last year we're rotating about every 8 or 9 minutes, now they're around about the 12-13 minute mark, so their ability to be able to sustain their effort for longer is obviously critical. So our training in pre-season focused on their ability to be able to sustain their effort. Players have to be more flexible. Clearly they can't stay in the midfield for the whole period of time if they're midfielders, so they have to go forward for a period. Even the defenders, some of the high defenders, they don't get an opportunity to rotate every quarter, so they might drop back a line. And even someone like a Sauce Jacobs, who in the past might have always come off for a rest each quarter. Sometimes he just rotates forward as well.
When it was first introduced, the idea was that it might help spread the game out and reduce stoppages and congestion. There was also a view around fairness and a view around whether it was more protective for some sorts of injuries.
We've seen games more free-flowing and higher scoring. Look, I think the rotations are certainly a part of that. Clearly players are getting more fatigued later in the game, and so that suggests that they can't put on as much defensive pressure, so the game's opening up.
Here they go, look, they're out here. Sloan, Atkins, Laird, over the top, McGovern, back it comes, here's Laird, runs to 50.
It's hard to separate all of the other things that are happening in the game at the moment, like deliberate out of bounds, but at the moment we're 25% down in terms of boundary throw-ins, which is good, and ball ups are slightly down. The football's been exhilarating for the most part of this year. In part that's because there appears to be a philosophy within the coaching ranks of attacking and making sure they get past defensive zones, and then I think the rules helped from there.
In our first show of the year, we joined Don Pyke on the golf course and learnt how he played off scratch. His strongest competition at the Crows would come from Jarryd Lyons, who until the coach arrived had the reputation as the club's best golfer. Right now though, the silky skilled midfielder has his mind set on cementing his spot in Adelaide's best 22.
So I've been playing golf now since I was about 2 years old. My old man said I was chipping the ball in the backyard, but probably been a member of the club since I was about 12, which was Yarra Golf Club in Victoria, and now at Grange, and been here for about 3 years now. Golf's a good escape from footy. I mean, yeah, you can come out here by yourself and just play holes and get lost in the course really, and just enjoy it. I mean, you don't have to think about footy out here. At the moment, handicap is 6. Hopefully get that down in the next few weeks would be nice. With Radar gone, I might have taken that #1 mantle. That was always good playing with Radar. We're always pretty similar, so at the moment I'm probably going all right, but Seedsman's fast approaching.
And Lyons will kick the goal!
I was disappointed to miss out on round 1, but I mean that's not the end of the world, and now I've sort of played a couple of games in a row and just got to sort of cement my spot in the side and keep playing well. Basically, put the pressure's coming on from the sample side, who are all playing well down there. So yeah, it's been a good start, but I've got to improve on that now. For myself, I'm just focusing on probably my speed and endurance out there. I guess now with the interchange cap, it makes it a little bit harder to to keep that speed up. you can play golf till you're 60 or 70, so I think after footy that's something I'd look into. Well, I played with Pikey in the golf day and once before that, but we haven't actually played a full 18 together, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes, see if he can walk the walk.
After the break, we'll show you how wishes do come true.
G'day Lauren, how are you?
Very good, thanks.
That's the way.
Welcome back. Most AFL players get drafted fresh out of under-18 competitions around the country. But Jono Beach had to be a lot more patient. He was 25 before the Crows picked him with their final selection in November's rookie draft. The strong marking forward learnt his football in the Riverland and honed his skills with West Adelaide, winning a premiership medal last year.
Obviously being a mature age, it took me a while to be drafted, so I think it was my 8th year in the draft. And yeah, I was lucky that things fell my way on the day, rookie draft day a couple of months ago. I think it was a bit mentally draining early on when I was 18, 19, 20, my first 3 years I entered in the draft. Probably got a bit down after that, but as the years went on, I just learnt just to take on the advice from the recruiters.
Goes to Schmidt, he beckons the forward line to come to him. Beach did well, got away from Jarryd.
The Crows showed some interest a couple of years ago, and I was lucky enough to do a 2-week pre-season with them. And then rookie draft day, unfortunately, it didn't go my way. So after that, I just spoke to the club what I needed to do, and they just asked me to keep playing consistent footy. Probably helped that we won the flag at Westies, and yeah, I played mainly up forward last year and kicked a few goals.
Number 14, Jono Beach.
Jono.
Hey mate, how you going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm happy mate, I'm real happy.
Congratulations, welcome to the Crows.
I work down at Adelaide Shores in the resort and caravan park, and it's actually the first year I didn't watch the rookie draft, and I was digging the trench, putting in the irrigation system at work, and yeah, I got a few messages and phone calls come through.
The next question is, how soon can you get down here?
Try and get there within the hour, is that alright?
That'd be great, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
I haven't picked up a shovel since leaving work that day. I went straight up to the boss and told him he was on the work site. Yeah, I was straight down here to the Crows and had the presser and all that day, and yeah, my journey started then.
The Crows struck gold with their best ever deal back in 1994. A youngster named Andrew McLeod was traded by Fremantle, and the rest, as they say, is history. A year later, in just his second game, he produced a match-winning goal against Hawthorn, a glimpse of the brilliance he was to display in 340 games. The Hawks' best player that night was John Platten. He reflects on that special moment.
Metres now, isn't it? Just puts the ball forward metres. Trench walk there.
It's over 20 years ago now, so it's a long time ago. But well, it's always hard to play here at Footy Park, and it was just cold, wet, and windy. I would imagine that we were favourites to win because we were off to a pretty good start in '95. Yeah, until it come to the Crows game on this night, and yeah, I think we had 5 goals up at half time, and then we pretty well much didn't do much after that. You know, to the credit of the Crows, they came back. Andrew Drummond played a pretty good game, so I think they got him back into the game by just pure hard work.
So just over a minute, Pesh comes away. Big roar from the crowd, kicks inside the field.
I think about a minute to go, or just under a minute, and I reckon Chris McDermott got it out of the middle, just one of his mongrel kicks, which he does, and it was, as we said, it was a wet night as well, so the ball just sort of skidded down to the northern end. I remember Ray Jenke running, after the ball. He was about 5 metres in front of Andrew McLeod, and to Andrew's credit, he's a pretty quick sort of bloke. His second game, he's probably pretty excited about the whole situation, and he overran him. He got the ball in the in the left forward pocket down the northern end. He turned him inside out and kicked this unbelievable goal on the angle. And I think at that stage then it was just, under a minute to go. You were 2 points up and you got the lead and you stayed there right to the end.
Pocket stops it. Was he held? He goes on, open goal! Oh! And a likely hero.
You could see that he was going to be a great player in the AFL, VFL for the Crows, and so time 20 years down the track now, he's a superstar, he's a Hall of Famer. So I think he's going to be, well known around Adelaide Crows area for a long, long time.
Each week this season, one lucky fan will have their Crows wish come true. Every Wednesday, the club will ask for nominations using the hashtag CrowsWish on social media. We'll then make it our mission to turn the wish into reality. Let's see how the first wish unfolded.
Lauren Holloway is a courageous young woman making a remarkable recovery from a serious car accident. Her Crow's wish was to meet her favourite player, Scott Thompson, and we were pleased to make that happen.
She was in a coma for around about 6 or 7 weeks, on life support for 2. Lauren had amnesia from the accident, so post-traumatic amnesia for about 7 or 8 months, but she didn't know who her family were. She wasn't really sure where she was, what was happening, and we'd say, "Oh, Lauren, who's your favourite Crows player?" It was always Scott Thompson immediately, so she didn't know who her mum or dad was, but she certainly knew who Scott Thompson was.
G'day, Lauren. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks.
That's the way. You having a nice day?
Yeah.
I've got this lovely number 5 Guernsey to give you.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Oh, that's awesome.
So you've taught yourself to walk again?
Yeah.
You get
Speak, stand.
Excellent.
This has given her a lot of incentive and drive to watch how the club succeeds, and also to watch how the club's handled themselves with what's happened in the past couple of years. It means the world to her, it really does.
After the break, fueling the body, we look at the importance of hydration. And Riley Knight gets a grilling from Smithers.
Awesome to come away with the win in such a tight game.
And you kicked a couple of goals, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, happy with them?
I just took my opportunities when I got them.
Riley Knight is among an emerging group of Crows who are growing into their on and off-field roles, which includes fronting the camera from time to time. Although on this occasion, his teammate is the one firing the questions. Today, thanks to Aussie Ripper Roasts, it's Riley's turn to sit down with Brodie Smith.
Welcome, Riley Knight, to this week's Ripper Roast.
Thanks for having me, Brodie.
All right, 11 games last year. Just talk us through what it was like.
Yeah, it was awesome. You do all this work and obviously you want to play AFL footy as the reward at the end of it, and then obviously be able to stay on the side and play some finals footy was awesome.
Yeah, just talk us through your first final, obviously the build-up and then a big win for the boys.
Yeah, no, it was great going over to Melbourne and probably being the underdogs over there, which was awesome to come away with the win in such a tight game.
And you kicked a couple of goals, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, happy with them?
I just took my opportunities when I got them.
Your celebration suggests that you were pumped for them, so just walk us through that. Do you practice those at home before the game, or just heat of the moment? Or
Eddie gave me a few tips during the week if I got a couple of opportunities to put them on display.
What is your expectations this year? Obviously you had a good year last year. Started the year well in the SANFL, so what's your goals this year?
Yeah, obviously coming off another interrupted pre-season, so hopefully just be able to get some match fitness up through the SANFL and get some form up, and then we'll wait and see what happens after that.
Just ask a few questions about you now. Just a few things you like to do outside of the club.
Like water skiing. It's probably about it. Pretty boring.
Best looking player at the club?
No.
No?
No.
You said 5 minutes ago you were
You're kidding me. This is a stitch up.
All right, thank you for joining us today, Riley, on the Ripper Roast.
It's been a pleasure, Brodie.
Hydration is critically important to a player's endurance. Water regulates body temperature and lubricates joints. In this segment, Under the Coach's Roof, brought to you by Revolution Roofing, we explore how hydration can impact on performance and recovery.
Hydration is firstly important because when you're dehydrated, your blood volume decreases, your heart rate will increase, your body temperature will therefore increase, and your rate of perceived exertion will increase also. So performance will decrease. Players will find things being harder than they actually are, than they might have found previously, and it can be a detriment to their health too if they're dehydrated. Once you're thirsty, you're already about 2% dehydrated, which can lead to about a 10 to 20% decrease in performance. So it's a huge amount for something that's so simple to maintain. We look for players to have a variety of drinks, so we have sports drinks, protein drinks, water. Initially, prior to a game, we're looking to make sure that their glucose stores are adequate and that they're fully hydrated, so we allow sort of carbohydrate-based drinks and water prior to games or training. Post games or training, we look at having a protein and a carbohydrate source and water as well. And then any other time during the day, we really try and get them to have high water intake.
Still to come on The Crows Show, VB takes us on his favourite holiday, and we get up close with one of our supporters.
So far this season, players have allowed us to join them on holiday in the US, New Zealand and the Pacific. This week, Nathan Van Berlo takes us in the opposite direction, all thanks to our friends at Flight Centre.
My favourite holiday destination without doubt is heading down to the southwest of WA, down to Busselton and Margaret River. We go there every Christmas. I've got family down there and I love spending time down there at Cape Naturalist. There's some beautiful beaches, some great surf and good fishing. So if you haven't been down that way, it's a beautiful part of Australia and there's some amazing beaches, great wineries and lots to do. So it's definitely my favourite place to get to every year. I haven't been to the United States yet. I've been to Hawaii but haven't been over to the States for a trip. I'd love to go over there and see some US sports live in action. I mean, it's crazy the following they get over there, so I'd love to get over there. And another trip I'd love to do again would be to get over to South Africa. I went a couple of years ago with Sloaney and our partners, and it was an amazing experience to do the safari. It was something else, so I can't wait to go and do that again one day.
Now to our lucky face in the crowd. Each week, Chemist Warehouse helps us focus on one Crows supporter. If this is you, contact the club via email prior to 5 p.m. next Wednesday. Be ready with some photo ID and you'll receive a merchandise pack. Well, that just about wraps up today's show.
Next week, we turn the clock back to Simon Goodwin's 250th game.
And Brodie Smith catches up with his club lookalike.
People are getting confused with
us too. Now I'm clearly better looking, so I don't know what's going on there.
Well, that's the thing that lets me down every single week. I scratch my head as to why I'm being compared to you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Chemist Warehouse will be with us again when we return next Sunday at 11:30 on 7.
We'll see you then.
Bye for now.